Hi, welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a book haul of a couple books that I've been buying over the last, few weeks, a month. And I do not need any more books, as like every booktuber ever starts their book hauls. I don't need any more books, but I did get some, so I'm going to show you guys. Let's get right into the book haul. First book on the book haul is How to Make Friends with the Dark by Kathleen Glasgow, maybe. I have not heard a lot of things about this book, but she is the same author as Girl in Pieces, which was just such like a big book on like Book Talk, BookTube, just anything to do with books. It was a very famous book, and I think she writes like kind of sad books, and I would say to check the trigger warnings. I don't know much about this book, but I would say if you are interested in reading, probably check the trigger warnings, because I know this author is it's not for everyone. I'm excited to read this book soon, probably. It's probably one of those books that will make me cry, which is partially why I got it to begin with. So I'll add this to my sad book pile. Next up, we got Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I actually did read this book already. I didn't have a physical copy of this book because I read it as an ebook. But I love this book. I think I rated this book about a 4.75 stars. It was so good. I enjoyed it. It's written in a like interview kind of, wait, I won't go there because I don't want spoilers. On an interview kind of format. So there's like the names and then the dialogues, and it changes like every few paragraphs, and I just love the way it was written. I'd never read a book like this before. And then I watched the show, and if you've read this book and you haven't watched the show, I totally recommend it. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. I watched it with my family and we all liked it. I will say they changed a few things, like very small things from the book to the show, but I still recommend it. And I might actually reread this sometime and annotate it, because while I was reading the book on an ebook, all I could think about was how I wish I had it in a physical copy so I can annotate it, because it's such like, it's the kind of book you want to annotate, you want to tab, and you want to like underline quotes. So I totally recommend this book, and I'm really glad to have it now. Next up, we have like a pretty random book. I just kind of saw this and I was like, I want to have it, and I thrifted it. It's How to Cheat a Dragon's Curse, and it's like a How to Train Your Dragon book. And fun fact about me, I love How to Train Your Dragon. It's one of my favorite movies. I love the show. I have the first book, and I might read the books just for fun. I mean, it's a children's book, but it's still really cute. And I just thought it would be really cute to have this in my bookshelf. I love like the cover and the inside. It's all like that. It's just so cute. I don't know if I'll be reading it anytime soon, but it's so fun to have this, and it feels like a little throwback to my childhood. Next, we have a book that's just completely out of my comfort zone, and it's The Iliad. This book is a classic. I have never read anything like it. I have never read a classic other than like Little Women, so I'm trying to get into my classic era. I saw this and I thrifted it, and I just thought, I'm gonna read it someday. I don't know, I have no idea what this book is about. I think it's like a war kind of book. Yes, it's the world's greatest war novel. I'm not exactly sure how this book is written, if it's interesting or not. If you read it, let me know. But yeah, I'm trying to grow my classics collection. Out of my comfort zone, but it's a new year, so it's the time to change our book taste. Next, we have Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. I have read one book by this author called Big Magic. It basically gives tips on if you want to go into art and like how to write and how to not give up. It's kind of like a motivational book, and I actually got that book recommendation from Olivia Rodrigo in one of her interviews of things like she couldn't live without. She talked about that book, and I just thought, well, let me read it, let me try something different, and I loved it. I listened to it in an audiobook, and I totally recommend that book. I saw this book in a thrift shop, and since I liked the author and she talked a little bit about this book in her other nonfiction book, I just thought it'd be really fun. And this is, I think, more of a rom-com kind of book, if I'm not wrong. Maybe. I got the movie cover. My family, I think, watched the movie, and I think they said it was good. It was very like different than the book. And I'm actually pretty excited to read this. This book is about this woman, and she has like the perfect like American life. She has a job and a husband and like everything. And basically after a divorce and a bunch of different things, she notices that she's not where she wants to be in life. And I think she starts traveling around the world, and she goes to like Italy, India, Indonesia, and starts kind of realizing what she really wants. And it seems like an interesting book, so we'll see what I think. But let's go to the next book. This is Stephen King on writing, and this is a memoir. This is the memoir of The Craft by Stephen King, and he is a pretty famous author. He wrote It, like the clown book, and a bunch of other really famous books. I personally have never actually read a Stephen King book, but so many people have recommended him, and so I saw this and I just thought it would be fun. I'm trying to get more into memoirs as well as classics, memoirs. I'm also trying to get into, I've read a couple and I really actually like them, so maybe it's something that I'm into. I thrifted this book and it seems like the last person kind of left some annotations, and I personally don't take the annotations that other people put like when I buy a book, just because I think it's so fun to like see what the other person thought, or what that other person thought was interesting enough to put a little sticky note inside of it. So we'll see if this person who read this book had good book taste. I don't even know if I ever plan on writing a book, but I feel like every reader has had that thought of, maybe I'm a writer deep down. Maybe that's why I like to read. So hopefully Stephen King will not let me down. And if I like this memoir, I might like get into reading one of his famous books and really hyped up books. And he just has so many books, I think he is one of those authors that has like a bunch of books. So it's kind of overwhelming to think about where to start. And trust me, I'm not going to start with It, because I'm not a horror book reader. I would never read that book. It's also like this big, it's huge. But let me know if Stephen King is one of like your favorite authors and you think I should read one of his books. Let me know which book you think I should read. I then got Moby Dick. This says it's a Norton Critical Edition, so I'm not sure if it's like the actual book. If not, I'm really confused. I'm really bad at like buying classics because there's just so many versions of them that I don't know what the original version is. The font is scaring me because it's kind of really small. And again, like I said, I'm trying to get into classics, so I just bought a bunch. I have like the Picture of Dorian Gray, Frankenstein, and a couple others. So let me know, because Moby Dick is one, like, is really, really famous. And I am really interested in reading it, and I'm not even sure if I got the right edition. So if you read it, let me know if I got the right edition, or if I look like a fool holding this book right now. And finally, I got Henry IV Part 1 by, I think, Shakespeare. I don't know who I think I am. I saw this and I thought, oh my goodness, Shakespeare. Let me be that girl, you know? Let me be the girl who is just reading her book out in public. And they're like, what are you reading? I'm like, oh, just some Shakespeare. I don't know if I can read these kinds of books. Like, I'm more of a rom-com, romance book reader. So we'll see what I think if I get around to this. It's pretty like small, so it doesn't really scare me, and I might try it out. I think it's like a play kind of book. I might be so wrong about this. I'm just rambling on about this classic, and actual classic readers are watching this thinking, she is so dumb. If you're watching this and you're like a classic reader and all you read is classics like Shakespeare and Moby Dick and all of that, I'm sorry. I just realized the tag is still on the money, because I thrifted this as well. I love thrifting books. It's so fun. No. Oh, it's gonna have to stay on because it's like ripping the book apart. I hate when they put that little stuff there and then you can't take it off. Anyways, I got Henry IV Part 1. And I'll see if I read this. These are all the books that I bought in the last few weeks. This is probably one of the few book hauls in many book hauls to come, because I will keep buying more books. Even if I don't read these, I will buy more, because why not? I hope you enjoyed this video, and drop down the recommendations of books or videos you would like to see me do. Don't forget to read a book today, and I'll see you in my next video soon. Bye!